Hi everyone, today's video is going to be about how to rent a house, so watch till the end. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becky Setcher. I hope you're all doing well. Now today's video is going to be about how to rent a house in the UK. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to be concentrating on England because things are slightly different in Scotland, a little bit different in Wales, Northern Ireland and the rest. So I'm going to be concentrating on England. I've always been making my notes before I talk to you. I want to get it right. I haven't rented in a long time, so I have to go with my notes. So if this is the first time you're watching my video, my name is Becky Setcher. You need to remember to like, subscribe and share. My videos are mostly for overseas nurses who are coming to the UK to work or who are already here and are trying to find their fit. So let's go on now. So what are the types of houses that we have in the UK? So we have detached houses, we have terraced houses, there are semi-detached houses, there are flats, and there are different apartments as well. And in these houses, when you're coming for the first time, there is also multiple occupancy accommodation whereby you have about 2, 3 or 4 people, different people sharing a house. They don't know each other. Most of these houses do have what we call ensuite, so you have your own toilet and possibly bathroom. Not all of them come like that, so you might find yourself 3 different people using the same toilet, the same bathroom and the same kitchen. Those days when I came in 2003, I lived like that to start with, but it was just for a short period. Now for those of you who are coming, some of you may be given accommodation, temporary accommodation by your employers, and after that you will be looking to rent and move out because they're going to be bringing new people into those accommodation. Normally the temporary accommodation can be up to 3 months, or some could be just 6 weeks, some could be 8 weeks, so you need to look into that. So as soon as you come, this information is very important and that would help you to know how to go about renting a place. So I've talked about the types of houses we have. Just to let you know, the rooms in the UK are not as big as we have back home. As you know, UK is a small island. Like in Ghana, people build houses and they have big rooms, and unfortunately it's not like that. You'll be surprised, some of the rooms are so tiny, but that is what it is and we all get used to it, and that is what we have. All right then, so the next thing is, if you're going to be looking for a property to rent or a house to rent, first of all, you have to find a house. And how do you find a house to rent? There are different options for you. Now, there are websites like Zoopla, there is Rightmove, and there are several rental websites. Sometimes just walk around the neighborhood and you would find a place, and then you can contact and find out if it's available. Usually nurses, we like to live close to the hospital that would be working in or the care home you'll be working at. And just to let you know, sometimes the houses that are closer to our workplaces like hospitals and care homes can be slightly expensive because most people want to be able to walk and go to work. The further away you go, it's slightly cheaper, but it means that you have to travel long distances to get to work. Bear in mind, if you're traveling long distances to work, on Sundays, the buses in the UK, public buses I mean, do not start until around 10 or 10:30. So sometimes you may be needing to take a taxi to work, just by the way. Okay, so you can also walk into a letting property letting agent, and you can find out what they have in the locality. Sometimes people post things online and you can find out about that. Sometimes you go to certain shops, especially the African shops or Indian shops, to buy food, and you will see they put things in the windows about property to let, house to rent, and all that. Now, if you want a multiple occupancy house where you are sharing a house with somebody, there is a website I only found out when I was doing a research for this video today, and it's called Spare Room or Ideal Roommate. If you just search on Google Spare Room or Ideal Roommate, you would find places in your area or in your city. And as I said, Zoopla or Rightmove, if you know the city you're going to be living in, or or the town or wherever, or the postcode, just put it in wherever you are. Just go on Google, put Rightmove or Zoopla UK. You'll be able to find and see how much accommodation or rooms costing wherever you're going to be living in. And also you have to, just for caution, you need to watch out for scammers, because some people would put online they're renting a place. You haven't met them, you don't know who they are. They show you viewing online and you are not dealing with any human being. It's just someone on computer, so be careful with those ones. So that's about finding a property. Let's go to the next point, which is viewing. So you need to go and view where you're going to be renting, because you can't just rent without knowing how the place is. So you need to do the viewing with the landlord, or the agent or the property agent will take you, normally they will book an appointment for you. They will tell you what date, what time. You go with them and you go and view the property and see whether that is what you want, whether it's suitable for you and your family. So that's about that. And the third point is you will get accepted. If you find it and you like it, you get accepted. The fourth point is that to make sure, some agents or landlord will require references. So the references could be a letter from your workplace, just to assure them you're working with this particular organization. They want to know you'll be able to pay their rent for them. Some of them do credit checks on people. Some of them do like to have friends or relatives as a guarantor, to be a guarantee or guarantor for you, so that if you're not paying, they go and grab them. The fifth point is they require deposit. So if you're renting in the UK, you need to pay a deposit. Back home in Ghana, I would say from Ghana, because that's where I come from, you can pay about a year or 2 years deposit. In the UK, it's between 5 to 6 weeks, nothing more than that. So you need to bear in mind rent is paid 1 month in advance as well. So if you're renting for the first time, you're paying your 1 month rent in advance, in addition to 5 to 6 weeks rent, which is your deposit. The deposit would be returned to you at the end of your tenancy. But you need to bear in mind, please remember this: when you come and you're given temporary accommodation or you rent a place, make sure you take good care of the property. Take photos when you move in, take photos when you're leaving. Hear it from me. Otherwise, the day you have left, if anything goes wrong, your deposit could be seized and you will not get it back. So just bear that in mind. The sixth point is signing a tenancy agreement. They would give you a tenancy agreement to sign. It would tell you when to pay the rent. They would tell you about the conditions of the accommodation. Some will tell you you shouldn't have visitors. You need to check all the little print and make sure you are happy before you sign any tenancy agreement. The tenancy agreement will tell you the date you should be paying your accommodation or your rent, the notice period as well, how many weeks notice you need to give before you move out, and several other things. Some of them would say they do not want people to have pets and all that. So it's important to look at those very well before you sign your tenancy agreement. The next thing is inventory check. So some of the houses you would be renting are already furnished. Some are not furnished, so they're furnished with basic things. There's a bed in the house, there is washing machine, most houses have washing machines, they have microwave, oven, and all those basic things. So you just check and make sure, because when you've arrived, you haven't got money to be buying all those things to start life with. So it's important. Most of these houses have them already anyway, so you'll be checking. Then wall pictures, some of them have decorations and things like that, but checking the inventory. Make sure you take pictures, as I said, before and after if you're leaving the house, and then when you're moving out, the same as well. Check the furniture and everything. Now, another thing to bear in mind is you need to check who is responsible for the bills in the house, whether they are inclusive or not. So some of the houses, the bills are inclusive when you rent it. You need to check and make sure. Some of them, the bills are not inclusive, so you have to pay the bills yourself. So the bills would be gas, electricity, water, and what else? I think those are the main things. And if you have TV and the rest, TV license, you have to pay to watch TV. So every household, when you buy a TV, they take your details, they'll be send you in a letter, they will get TV. You have to pay TV license to be able to watch TV. It's normally, you can do it 3 installments, or you pay it off and that's it. Anyway, once a year, or you pay 3 times a year, depending on how you want to pay it. If you're living in a multiple occupancy house where you're sharing with other people, most often it is inclusive, but as I said, check. Accommodation in the UK, some of the houses you pay weekly, some you pay monthly, so it depends on what your contract and agreement is. Now, and they will also be checking, this is the 8th point, checking whether you have the right to rent a property or a house in the UK. It's a new law, regulation by the government, so you should be 18 years plus, and I'm sure as a nurse, when you're coming to UK, you are more than 18 years old. So yeah, and also some agents and landlords are required to check your immigration status, your home office documentation. They have a way of checking these things online, but some of them would want paper document to show that you're eligible to rent a house in the UK. So it's just by the way. This is just extra advice for you. Please note, tenancy agreement runs normally from 6 months to 12 months. So if you're renting a place, it could be up to 6 months or up to 12 months. So just bear that in mind. Check and make sure the smoke alarm is working, carbon monoxide detectors are there. People don't care about those, but it's important. Check whether the water heating is working, so that when it's very soon it's going to be cold, the winter is coming. It doesn't matter whenever or which time during the year you're renting your house, but just make sure that the heating system in the house is working, because when it's cold and it's not working, you're going to be freezing. So check those things. Make sure water is working as well. Check for gas safety certificate if you want to make sure that is okay. Make sure you know how to operate some of these gadgets in the homes. So the heating system, ask how to operate them, because back home, those of us from Africa, we have heat every time. We don't need heating system. We are hot. So when you come here, you need to make sure you learn how to operate the central heating system. Also check how to operate the appliances in the house, like the washing machine, microwave, and all those things. It's very important. If there is any fault or repairs required in the property, make sure you speak to the agent or the landlord as well. What else do I have? You need to remember to keep record of your tenancy agreement, because if you're going to be inviting your family over, you would need to use the tenancy agreement. It just helps to support the fact that you are able, or you've got an accommodation to house your family in, and also your deposit document as well, because at the end of your tenancy you need the deposit document to show that you have paid your deposit, and if you're eligible to get it back, if you've not destroyed anything in the house, you will get your deposit back. What else have I got? Make sure you pay your rent on time and bills as well. If you don't do that, it goes again. You know, it would go against you one day. Your credit rating and all that would be affected. I'll try and see if I can do a video on this credit rating business at some point. And then look after the property as if it is yours, because some people go and live in other people's homes. They don't look after them properly. Paint are messy. Landlords do not like that. So just make sure you keep somebody's house as if it is yours anyway. Some people don't like it when you're taking a lodger in their house because you're paying. Don't bring anybody else in, and maybe they'll be paying you secretly. I don't know, but anyway, it's just by the way. You should be considerate to your neighbors as well. And at the end of your agreement, if you want to leave, you need to find out how long notice you have to give before you leave the accommodation. But if the landlord wants you to leave before your term, they need to give you notice as well. I'm going to be adding a couple of links to my video so that if you're having any difficulty regarding your accommodation, you'll be able to check on that. I would add the link for Zoopla. I would add the link for the multiple occupancy one. If you want a shared house, I would also add a link to, I think, Citizens Advice Bureau, so that if you're having difficulties, you know who to contact. So this is the end of my video regarding how to rent a house in the UK. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it is helpful. Remember to like, subscribe, and share as well. And I will see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.